Ah, greetings, spirit beings, greetings, supreme being. Welcome to Universal Peace Television, the channel or BC Hoffman, N on YouTube for Universal Peace, and this is the broadcast. Democrats and the US's European allies can't block Trump from blowing up the agreement himself, which is actually not my statement. It's an article. Ooh, I should switch this off. Then I may have to restart the agreement, the broadcast. Then it is Huffington Post article. This is the full sentence. Though Democrats and the US's European allies who oppose altering the deal have so far been successful in warding off legislation that would violate the agreement, they can't block Trump from blowing up the agreement himself. And this is the article on the HuffingtonPost.com. Congress still hasn't followed Trump's orders on the Iran deal. A Republican-led effort to alter US commitments under the agreement has failed to attract support from Democrats. Let's see if everything functions normally. Because I'm using a different IP, so then it's also a test of the thing. It's piss phone. So yeah, that's cool. Then you can have a different IP. This is my IP address in Zurich, Switzerland at the moment. And I'm surprised that I can broadcast with this thing on. But then I'm afraid if I would switch off the program that changes my IP, that the broadcast would be cut off because my IP would change. Would that be true? Never mind, I can just do this broadcast. Okay, so let's read this short message first before we go to the article. It will explain everything how to create universal peace. An important point I first would like to make is not to spend money on more nuclear weapons which are obsolete because of scalar weapons, but to invest instead in controlling the factors that control aging so we don't die, and also not on fake space travel to Mars, the NASA Freemasons. I've covered the NASA Freemasonic hoaxes, the scams, in my previous broadcasts, also how much each of these scams costs the taxpayer. And there are several of them that have been proven beyond any reasonable doubt, like the Apollo moon landing hoax with the NASA videos of astronauts in space making sound, and that's impossible in space. There's a vacuum also according to NASA. And that may also be a reason space travel may be impossible in reality. But that's not, for as far as I have been able to check it out, it's not proven to myself beyond any reasonable doubt, like the fact that the Earth is spherical, oblong, not flat. And the Apollo moon landing hoax is definitely proven beyond any reasonable doubt by NASA's own videos that show sound on the moon, which is impossible in a vacuum. You can test that on Earth in a vacuum chamber. It's all in my previous broadcast with the NASA material, etc. So this is more important now. Let's read this first. I have to press this button to mute myself.
Watch my YouTube video, Healthcare Serial Killers, Doctors and Nurses Who Kill Serial Killing Doctors. Depopulation Warning for Universal Peace. To prevent World War III and create universal peace, 1. Leaders are advised to avoid attacking any countries, especially innocent civilians, and declare a ceasefire when possible. 2. Promote or mention universal peace. 3. Make weed tea, eat weed or smoke a peace pipe if absolutely necessary. 4. Be prepared, radiological water filter, storable food, just in caves. Solving Iran situation. To prevent a world war over Iran, Iranian leaders are advised to allow inspections in all of their facilities as agreed upon in the nuclear agreement. American leaders are advised to avoid any type of attack on Iran to avoid a world war with its ally Russia. American leaders are advised to first have an agreement with leaders of ally countries of Iran before even thinking about bombing the facilities that do not allow inspections to avoid the Third Jesuit World War, mutually assured destruction, and a 7-year nuclear winter which would be colder than the next ice age. Iran cannot pose any threat to Israel with its Iron Dome and other missile shields. Israel has nuclear weapons which it may use to retaliate. Keep missile shields ready. Get rid of the people responsible for the World War, possibly the leader of the Jesuits, Adolfo Nicolas. Instead of the innocent civilians they want you to kill, take over, end the war, create the non-fictional utopian society ASAP to speed up finding ways to control the 7 factors that control aging during our lifetimes. They are always the ones to tell you who your enemies are, but they're never the ones to fight and to die. From the song Life's in the Balance. This would be the Third Jesuit World War. Watch out. Get rid of the people responsible for the World War, possibly the leader of the Jesuits, Adolfo Nicolas, instead of.
So the idea is replace them with competent ones, not necessarily murdering or executing the person when there's a world war going on, to end the world war, and to not do it to the innocent civilians on the other side, but only to the people responsible for the war.
The innocent civilians they want you to kill, take over, end the war, create the Get rid of the people responsible for the World War, possibly the leader of the Jesuits, Adolfo Nicolas, instead of the innocent civilians they want you to kill, take over, end the war, create the non-fictional utopian society ASAP to speed up finding ways to control the 7 factors that control aging during our lifetimes. They are always the ones to tell you who your enemies are, but they're never the ones to fight and to die. From the song Life's in the Balance. This would be the Third Jesuit World War. Watch out. Nepiophilia, also called infantophilia, is a subtype of pedophilia. It is used to refer to a sexual preference for infants and toddlers, ages 0 to 3 or those under age 5. Pedophilia is used for individuals with a primary or exclusive sexual interest in prepubescent children aged 13 or younger. Hebephilia is defined as individuals with a primary or exclusive sexual interest in 11 to 14-year-old pubescents. Ephebophilia is the primary or exclusive adult sexual interest in mid to late adolescents, generally ages 15 to 19. Mesophilia, derived from the Greek mesos, intermediate, is a sexual preference for middle-aged adults. Teleophilia, from Greek teleos, full-grown, is a sexual preference for adults. Gerontophilia is a sexual preference for the elderly. This means the ages for hebephilia, 11 to 14, and pedophilia, younger than 13, overlap. The other chronophilia age ranges do not overlap. The term chronophilia was used by John Money to describe a form of parophilia in which an individual experiences sexual attraction limited to individuals of particular age ranges. The term has not been widely adopted by sexologists, who instead use terms that refer to the specific age range in question. An arguable historical precursor was Richard von Krafft-Ebing's concept of age fetishism. Dr. Death sounds sensible to me.
So I think most people have never. This is not. You could argue it's on topic pedo elite, basically, that want to polarize society, to make the rich themselves richer and the poor poorer, to enslave humanity, and to depopulate the earth to a more controllable number and rule the world from Jerusalem. They want a totalitarian, Luciferian global government, and they pose as a religious order the Jesuits' cannibalism, the Jesuit Holocaust, the Jesuit Inquisition, torturing 50 million innocent people to death. That's all covered in my previous broadcast with the torture devices you can also see online. And they also did Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and then they came out unscathed at Ground Zero and the WTC, and they control these intelligence agencies. That's the image that I've been showing you. So it's only if that's true, so that needs to be verified. And I advocate arresting all secret society members. That means all Committee of 300 members like George Soros and Margaret Chan, and all the Freemasons, all secret society members. And then the ones that don't rat on the person that's responsible, that did it all, go to jail, and the others get a reduced sentence or are set free. Since they control the directed energy weapons that control the judge, also these torture weapons, the voice of God weapon, etc., and the intelligence agencies are higher ranked than the police and military, it's impossible to use the legal system to do anything about this, and you have to watch out that you don't walk into the trap. For example, the False Memory Syndrome Foundation, which is used to protect pedophiles, to pretend that the child has a false memory and a mental problem, and then electroshock the child so they forget who they are, their personality, etc. It's also described in a book, The Dark Room by Anne Cameron or someone, or something like that. Anyway, it's one of their techniques. And electroshock also always, electroshock, ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, electroshock always increases the victim's patient's suicide risk and causes brain damage, as you can see on the MRI scans on wildestcodes.com. But there are scientists lying about these things to depopulate the earth and to enslave humanity, which I've also covered in my previous broadcasts, which I suggest you all should see. So before I get to the article, that's just the mainstream media, you know, the fake news. And they are all CIA-controlled, Project Mockingbird. So there are certain things that you don't see. For example, tactical nukes going off in Syria, and the depleted uranium war crime, which the UN should have done something about, etc. So my advice is don't do it to innocent civilians of the other countries, because many of them, most of them probably are against what these leaders, so-called leaders, have done. For example, with the depleted uranium war crime in Iran and Iraq, and Iraq, of course, 1 million dead Iraqi people, and tactical nukes in Syria, Syrian girl on controlled opposition, Alex Jones show, etc. That's all to prevent real resistance. Alex Jones exposed.info or .com and Stratfor, etc. Texas CIA, the CIA's evergreen aviation, dispersing the cancer chemtrails in America, CIA. Others say Coke in America. But did you ever get a line, free Coke or something? Yeah, CIA here. Let's do this, man. You're cool. Alright. So you know we're good. Anyway. So that cocaine is imported under armed guard into the United States of America doesn't mean that the CIA is engineering the crack, though they are perhaps. it's open to debate. So let's go to the article then. I'm not going to cover the 6 Jews that want to depopulate the earth. There are many non-Jews involved, mainly focusing more on the Jesuits and Masons, and I may still do that broadcast about the fact that it's impossible that all Jewish people are involved in depopulating the earth, because Jewish children that are born cannot speak, they cannot even read, and then if they're controlled by a neural network that makes them do it, then it's the neural network that is responsible and not the child. But okay, they're famous for the pedophilia, that's true. They've paid more in the pedo cases than anybody else. That's also covered by many other people, not just by me. The Jesuits and Masons. I've selected this text. And then I get this effing message. We are sorry, this video is restricted from playing on this domain. And even with piss phone on, it doesn't play the fucking video. Before. It doesn't scroll, it doesn't select the text. I'm waiting for that. Check another tab. They do this to make viewers tune out, so they can block the broadcast live, they can block anything with wireless energy, the same thing the Jesuits used to crash these planes into the WTC, which was rigged with explosives you can clearly see going off in the news broadcast material, the normal material of it, but especially in the video 9/11 Let's Roll. Loose Change, they call it. The second edition in the minute. I've covered it before. It's not switching to the other fucking page. So they're fucking blocking my broadcast. I should be so angry. I should scream my lungs out and let them take me away in a straitjacket and let them electroshock me. That would be cool. Who needs weapons to defend themselves when they have scalar waves? Oh, now it's switching. But it's still taking an hour to scroll up, so it seems to be slowed down to an incredible extent. Bobby would growl. Oh, Snowy, I mean Snowy. He's called Bobby in the Netherlands. Dutch Tinten is called Kuifje. Real. So I want to scroll up. And if they're illegally blocking this, and if it's just blocked, you know, then it's normal if I say fuck, 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 etc., isn't it? Yeah, it is, because it's a good word to use. Because it's better to make love and have a good time than to read these shitty fake news articles, isn't it? Yeah. Jessica Schulberg, Foreign Affairs reporter, HuffPost. Huff and puffed. So, why is it not scrolling up? Can I scroll up other pages? Should I just restart the whole browser? Then I first copy that link. Ah, not switching to the other one. With this article, I thought, what's relevant? What is the age of the student that she supposedly had sex with? And basically, if they both want sex together, should they really be punished or not? If they have sex, if it's she's a 20-year-old teacher that had sex with a minor, somebody younger than 18, I suppose. Though I don't know if it's a student younger than 18. I don't know that even. So you can all read it for yourselves, but I want to copy the other link address Congress still hasn't found. Oh, I thought they're dicks. But okay, let's keep it clean. I wanted to copy this link address. I right mouse clicked on the address. Completely ready when you are. It should, yeah, there it is. And then I can press copy. And then the speech engine will read it out. Watch out, there will be reverb on it. I can also put the echo of my microphone on to make the effect more grave. Copy.
https://www.huffingtonpost.com/Enter/Congress Trump-Iran deal_C8015E4B0B64880F7973.
Why the number? If you know why the number, then please Skype Prologic999. Because everybody would like to know why that long number is attached to the normal web address. Oh, ask later, please. Yes. Dun. 741 hertz for intuition. It's a bit, it's because of the broadcast. So I'm restarting Pale Moon web browser, which I think is the best, fastest browser for this PC. That occurs and then you have to restart it again, but it's better than it was. And to be able to watch 60p 720 videos and to browse fast, etc. In my experience, Pale Moon is much better than Chrome. Faster. So, does it load now? I restarted the browser. So I've tried watching that video by using change IP, but it may be, this is in, I don't know if this is Great Britain, England, or US, HuffingtonPost.com. I thought it was England. So perhaps you have to have an English IP. And the other method I tried was cached pages basically, but that also didn't show this video. So I can show you all the video that's with this article. Boo fucking boo.
Congress still hasn't followed Trump's orders on the Iran deal. A Republican-led effort to alter U.S. commitments under the agreement has failed to attract support from Democrats.
A Republican-led effort to alter U.S. commitments under the agreement has failed to attract support from Democrats, supposedly. Well, then I'll read the rest of the article.
Washington. President Donald Trump threatened in mid-October to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal unless Congress passed legislation that changed the terms of the 2015 agreement negotiated between Iran, the U.S. and 5 world powers. But more than a month later, a Republican-led effort to meet his demand has stalled after failing to attract bipartisan support. Congress is an independent branch of government, Sen. Ben Cardin, DMD, ranking member of the Foreign Relations Committee, told reporters on Wednesday. "We don't take orders from the president, we take orders from our constituents." The same day Trump threatened to pull out of the deal, Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chairman Bob Corker, R. Tennessee, and Sen. Tom Cotton, R. Arkansas, began drafting legislation to satisfy the president's request. Under the agreement, Iran is committed to never developing a nuclear weapon, but some of the restrictions on its nuclear program expire, or sunset, after 10 to 15 years. Corker and Cotton's plan was to tweak existing oversight legislation so that the U.S. would no longer honor these sunset clauses and would automatically reimpose nuclear sanctions against Iran if its nuclear program reached a point in which it could acquire a nuclear weapon in less than a year. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson pressed lawmakers to pass.
So, you could argue there's something wrong with the government. If the president is the POTUS, he's the highest leader, basically, and they don't take orders from him, but rather someone lower in the structure, basically. You could argue, it's just an idea.
Corker and Cotton's legislation before Trump faces another Iran deal certification deadline in January. Corker told reporters a month ago that he hoped to introduce the text of the bill within the following 2 weeks. But Corker and Cotton appear to have made little progress in the past month. They have not released text of the legislation or announced any Democratic partners. Cardin acknowledged discussions about what the president would like to see from Congress but said he is not aware of there being any Corker-Cotton bill. Corker, who is retiring when his term ends, has feuded publicly with Trump and expressed concern that the president could set off World War III. When Corker previewed,
sounds a bit like a cork or cotton bill. So universal peace. Basically, we don't need World War III with the 7-year nuclear winter and mutually assured destruction. And Iran cannot pose any threat to the US, that's what I'm saying, not even with nuclear weapons. And shouldn't Israel be sanctioned? Shouldn't Israel be sanctioned for not signing the NPT Non-Proliferation Treaty, basically? So, they cannot pose any threat to Israel with their missile shields and scalar weapons. That's something to keep in mind to avoid a third Jesuit world war, to impose a totalitarian Luciferian global government upon the people of planet Earth after depopulating the Earth to 500 million, which is their goal according to the book quotes and Georgia Guidestones, etc. The Jesuits and Masons are covered more by me in my previous broadcasts. Hand signals may be made by the neural network while I'm not paying any attention.
His proposed legislation last month, he argued that it in no way violates the Iran nuclear deal and said he was committed to working across party lines. But Democrats and nuclear non-proliferation groups said that the legislation amounted to a unilateral move to back out of the U.S. commitments under the international agreement. Corker has now admitted that he has shelved it, because it was a non-starter, a top Senate aide told the Jerusalem Post last week. Micah Johnson, a spokeswoman for Corker, slammed the Jerusalem Post story as based solely on bogus anonymous sources who clearly are not involved in our discussions. Asked about the current state of the Corker cotton legislative effort, Johnson was vague. Sen. Corker continues to talk with Sen. Cardin, Sen. Cotton and the administration about the appropriate path forward, she said. Caroline Tabler, a spokeswoman for Cotton, said that although no bill has been introduced, Cotton, Corker, Cardin and the Trump administration are working on legislation that reflects the Cotton-Corker framework they released last month. Though Democrats and the U.S.'s European allies, who oppose altering the deal, have so far been successful in warding off legislation that would violate the agreement, they can't block Trump from blowing up the agreement himself. In the event we are not able to reach a solution working with Congress and our allies, then the agreement will be terminated, Trump vowed last month. For now, the plan from proponents of the Iran deal appears to be hoping that Trump will fail to follow through on yet another promise. Trump says Iran deal will be terminated if Congress doesn't change its terms. The president is calling on lawmakers to take steps that could kill the nuclear accord, or he'll do it himself. October 13, 2017.
So then we can look at some other articles the mainstream media, fake news, has produced about the Iran nuclear deal. I have covered some more of it in my previous broadcasts, which are becoming more professional. Better microphone, better stories, better pictures and thumbnails as intros or that you see in YouTube basically. So thank you all for your likes and subscribes. And spread the information around the globe for universal peace for the timeline you want, and also boycott companies, boycott for example Monsanto companies. They use food as a sterilizing weapon, so control the position. Alex Jones may be right about a lot of things he talks about in his broadcasts. I think he's not some conspiracy lunatic that should be put in a straitjacket and dropped with the chopper. Or electroshocked. I don't think that at all. As a matter of fact, I bought a radiological water filter on the Infowars, in the Infowars store, they say, online, though it is quite an import fee. I'm still using that, of course, to filter the tap water. So get a good air cleaner with an ionizer, and or just an ionizer. Ionizers are cheap, the negative ions are the good ones. It really works, it's effective for cleaner air, which you need with the cancer chemtrails that contain ethylene dibromide and other shit that you don't want in your lungs, including designer viruses. And not all of these designer viruses may be killed by tobacco smoke, by the nicotine, which is considered an antihelminthicum. There was a little fruit fly or mosquito underneath my left eye, on my cheek basically. I don't think you all could see it, but it was really there. Right before I did this movement with my hand. So watch out for the hybrid insect microelectric mechanical systems. And be careful out there. For example, if you go on a plane, I'd advise the president as well to take a parachute just in case. What goes up must come down, etc. Trust no one, nothing is what it seems. So first, people have to earn your trust. Your life is the most important thing. Real love second, and the real law is the third most important thing. So I disagree with the rabbis that say selfless love is the most important thing. And I also am afraid that not everything would cease to exist if selfless love would cease to exist, which is an unthinkable or an impossibility. Anyway, Efshar in Hebrew, it's impossible. Shalom is possible. So, not to waste our time, or the time, or whatever. Iran nuclear deals, and then we can read all these fucking headlines. I mean, flogging headlines. Gee whiz.
Iran nuclear deal, CNN. U.S. allies frustrated by Trump as they lobby hard to keep Iran deal. CNN November 17, 2017. Related coverage. U.S. Congress moves bill threatening Iran nuclear deal. International Tehran Times November 16, 2017. The Cipher Brief, How to Weigh the Worth of the Iran Nuclear Deal. The Cipher Brief November 15, 2017. HuffPost. Congress still hasn't followed Trump's orders on the Iran deal. HuffPost November 15, 2017. New York Times. Top EU diplomat rejects Trump's call for new Iran nuclear deal. New York Times November 7, 2017. Related coverage. 206 Mogherini in U.S. to bolster Iran nuclear deal.
So one idea is perhaps it's best to avoid sanctions and just let them do whatever they want to do. Don't make any problems where there are no problems. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. I smoke a peace pipe. So they should give them that list of suspect sites before they can do anything. That maybe it might just be a form of miscommunication, basically. It was covered by the New York Times. Also in my previous broadcast, I know, but, well, you never know, perhaps the president will see one of these broadcasts and stuff, and then it has to be in there, you know. So it's not about reaching the maximum amount of people, but the people that can make a difference in the timeline that we all need. And chances of that increase once I get more viewers. And now my broadcasts are monetized. That may happen sooner or later. I have already noticed an increase in viewers. So far, according to the IAEA and American officials, the United States has not delivered a list of suspect locations. So that's why they claim, President Trump claims they're not in compliance, meaning they're not allowing these inspections in one of their facilities at least, though they have agreed on it. I've covered that part of the agreement in my broadcast. The IAEA is claiming that they need a list of suspect locations before they can do the inspection, and that they haven't had that. So there you go. So they say love is the answer, but what if the truth is love and hate is the answer? US allies frustrated by Trump as they lobby hard to keep Iran deal. Well, I heard that President Trump said that it's a disastrous deal. It's really horrible. It's a horrible deal, I think that maybe quote. So if they've already spent that much on it, it may not be a good idea to get rid of it. And I think that they might implement sanctions, which could also drive the Cancer oil price up. I reported that other thing. Rothschilds selling US assets and investing in Cancer oil in South America, not in the Middle East. And I should have the latest collection of intel and oil. Well, one of the things of HAARP is if you've selected some text, then it only searches in the selected text. Oh yeah, the toilet swirl. The toilet swirl, and also if you drain a pool or a sink, then it swirls like a tornado basically. Also tornadoes on the northern hemisphere, they spin like this, that's counterclockwise, and on the southern hemisphere like this, clockwise. And that also proves that the Earth is ball-shaped spherical. That's called the Coriolis effect. And you can see these videos. These dudes have made a video on the northern hemisphere and on the southern hemisphere to test it for the YouTubers. That's a really cool video. So, and before that, I didn't know about it, so it's actually something I learned via YouTube. Oil could top $200 if Saudi-Iran war breaks out. CNBC, November 10th, 2017. So are these people trying to create a war that they benefit from it? I think President Trump also spoke with the Saudis, with the sword thing and stuff. I think we should all think about how to prevent a world war and create universal peace. What we can do to promote achieving negligible senescence, to control the factors that control aging and creating a society in which we all will live happily eternally. And I think that we should get rid of religion through education, that is at the basis of a lot of torture and war. But in this case, it's just cancer oil, I think. The Americans made clear, according to General Wesley Clark, that they want permanent bases in the Middle East. But there are lots of Americans that are trying to do what they can to prevent further bombing of innocent civilians and depleted uranium and drones and all that shit that we don't need. And costs American taxpayers loads of money and also lives of soldiers. Comparable to Vietnam, basically. Because we're moving to hydrogen. Okay? So perhaps I should just go to waterpoweredcar.com again. That's a cool web page as well. And there you can find that the first car drove on water, hydrogen, invented by Isaac de Rivas. You can Google that. Not on cancer oil, cancer petroleum based internal combustion engine, but with a real engine. Sea energy is cleaner than wind energy, and they also have these plans for, it's part of phase 3 of active measures for insiders, explained in the description of this video, their method to take over the world, to generate a crisis big enough. So the patent office is blocking us from that water-powered car, and it's proven it exists by the Danny Klein patent and the fact that the military are using it. And they are sneaky snakes, they are. So we have to be wiser than serpents. These Jesuits and Masons, they've of course let them use a hybrid engine instead of the fully water-powered car to hide it and to keep us all dependent on cancer oil. So they've planned this eco-tax money scam, you know, the global warming hoax, and I think Trump is also better on that than Hillary would have been, and perhaps under Hillary the country would have gone down and the world would have ended up in flames already. That's very likely, perhaps. So again, also check eBay for the colloidal silver generator. I've covered it in one of my broadcasts. There's really a very cheap one, and the principle is the same, except for the reversed polarity, swapping polarity chip that's built into the puppy silver generator. Silver puppy, but it's quite expensive, so that's and you need the cleanest water possible and also probiotics, otherwise you could die from it. To immunize yourself against their designer viruses with colloidal silver. And don't take the killer vaccines, not even at gunpoint. Unless you have prepared for that with the cytokine storm preventing foods. So get that radiological water filter and storable food, just in case. I don't think they're gonna do world war because they want to preserve the infrastructure. And the CONOP 88 plan of the Pentagon, covered by CNN, also makes clear that plans to do it in the nuking in a more controlled fashion, basically. So it's 15 scalar weapon countries. They might end up dead themselves, and they don't want that in reality. They might pretend to want to come back as a deadly virus, but I doubt that. I'm not naming any names, plenty of others have done that already, so it's not about accusing people, but coming up with solutions for our future, for a better timeline, so we don't die without control of the factors that control aging. So this is also a good web page I like. I'm looking for the inventors actually. I could do my timeline of important inventions again. So I've already explained at the beginning how to prevent that world war and create universal peace. But perhaps you all have better ideas, and then please write them down in the comments so everybody can see, so that the idea, before people can do anything, they first need to get the idea to do it. These two water car inventors were mentioned at 1998 oil summit in Venezuela, and the executives freaked out. 2 weeks later, Stan mysteriously dies. They also got Andrea Puharich, the doctor with the great big motorhome, 40 foot long, that ran on water alone. Sounds like a joke, but I ain't lying. He fell down the stairs, they say, but they can easily do that with directed energy weapons. People usually don't fall off stairs. Do the research yourself. If we don't act, we are acted upon. Knowledge is power. They're trying to cut you off, to dumb you all down. More about the depopulation methods and how to survive them in my previous broadcasts. It's kind of boring if I repeat the same thing all the time in all the broadcasts, so I do try to make some variety and get new ideas and topics, and alter the program that I have. I have the anti-global government movement program video on YouTube, and if I'm wrong about something and people write me about it, you can also Skype me live in this broadcast, Skype Prologic 999. I've already had several live callers in my broadcasts, which is really exciting. I'd enjoy talking to you and anybody else, whether they are supporters or whether they want to trash my broadcasts or whatever. It would be fun, especially single females, of course. Oh, I love to talk to single females. Wow, it would be so cool. It would be so cool, it would be hot. Inventors, inventions, is this the page perhaps? Ooh, I can't play that.
Hear this, to use water to clean your car.
It's a major breakthrough that will no doubt make motorists.
Okay, I can play it, I guess. I'm in now.
The top our news here at 6 o'clock. An age-old dream becoming a reality. A local inventor has discovered a way, hear this, to use water to run your car.
It's a major breakthrough that will no doubt make motorists happy. And as Ralph Robinson explains, the Pentagon is also showing lots of interest in this project.
Water has always been considered a precious commodity, but Stan Meyer's invention may make it even more valuable. He has developed what's called a water fuel cell. It has taken the place of his old gas tank. The water fuel cell breaks down water molecules into oxygen and hydrogen. The hydrogen is used to run his dune buggy.
And I don't care if you use rainwater, well water, city water, ocean water. If you don't have any fresh water, go ahead and use snow. If you don't have any snow available to you, then use salt water because there's no adverse effect to the fuel cell.
Meyer started working on this project 4 years ago. He's not a scientist. He isn't even a chemist. In fact, he never graduated from college. Myers was determined, he says, to design something to protect this country from oil embargoes.
And we have calculated that if we take the dune buggy from Los Angeles to New York, we would roughly use 22 gallons of water.
The Pentagon flew a lieutenant colonel in last week to look at Meyer's invention. There's talk of possibly using it in the Star Wars defense program and to run army tanks. Myers is currently perfecting a water fuel cell for cars. It will cost about $1,500. He says it won't need any maintenance, and you won't have to replace it. It'll be at least 2 years before the fuel system goes into mass production. The day it happens will be one the fuel industry hates, but it'll put a smile on the face of those who've had to say at one time or another, fill her up. I'm Ralph Robinson.
As you can see, many patents have already been received, and many more are forthcoming. To date, over 42 patents have been applied for.
The inventors of water-powered cars. If simple electrolysis worked to make hydrogen from clean H2O, then we would have water-powered cars already. Most engineers, mechanics are taught, it takes more energy to produce enough energy to propel a car, therefore it will never work. You cannot break the laws of physics. They say you will not get enough BTUs from hydrogen or EGAs to push a nice motor. They are right. Gasoline gets too hot, and 78% of the energy produced goes right out the exhaust pipe. A complete waste of energy is applied every day we drive our present vehicles. With on-demand, board electrolysis make the higher power gas, hydroxy-registered gas. What you need is strong combustion to push the piston down. Hydrogen is 2.5 times more combustion power than gasoline, with less heat. The inventors below managed to propel a car on hydrogen, so can you. $1 trillion industry awaits you. Many of the inventors were either bought out and told to shut up or their lives were threatened. Yul Brown had shots fired into his kitchen. Stan Meyers was threatened and eventually poisoned. A few months later, Yul Brown dies in 1998. Andrija Puharich mysteriously fell down a flight of stairs. Carl Cella died in prison. Today there are way too many of us to control. The time is now. 2013. See the buggy idle on EGAs alone. And C stands for tall cell. Video taken from his twin brother Stephen Meyer, still alive. The other fellow Ted Holbrook, who just passed of old age, is helping him. He supposedly is responsible for confiscating the dune buggy from the cronies who took Stan's most precious life. Ted's wife and associates have the famous buggy for sale! September 25, 2008. Don't know if the famous Jesus Christ is Lord dune buggy sold? In the spring of 2010, the buggy was still for sale. It was observed running on scalar-charged water with Stan's Vic circuit and resinous water chamber, no tall tube cell, no high-voltage water, spark injectors, just charged H3 water. Deuterium water most locally, as the exhaust had a ammonia smell to it. H3N equals ammonia. Stephen Meyer interview. Listen now. 709. Hydrogen Cell Review 1 2013. How did all these inventors listed below make a car run off of water as fuel? William Nicholson, 1799, experimented with electrolysis. Isaac de Rivas, 1805. He made the first water car. Reverend William Cecil, 1820. Jean-Joseph Etienne Lanoyer, 1860. Second car that ran on water as fuel. Info. On Revaz, Lanoyer and Delamere de Boutteville, Luther Waddles, 1897, Rudolph Aaron, 1930, Henry Dad Garrett, 1932, from Texas. I believe he was bought out and his water fuel carb, forgotten about. Michael APV, 1956, wrote the Water as Fuel book. William Rhodes, 1967, Yull Brown, 1970–1998, Daniel Dingle, 1970–2009. Francisco Pacheco, 1972, Roger Billings, 1976, Archie Blue, 1950s. Robert Zweig, 1978, Dr. Ruggero Santilli, 1978, alive. Sam Leslie Leach, 1978. MIBS in action at your local theaters. To turn off the music, click the pause button. Rent the movie, Syriana. It will show you how corrupt greed actually is. Hydrogen Cell Review 1 2013. WHO killed the electric car movie. The oil corporation owners of from GM did it. New Zealanders have water-powered cars and motorcycles. Why not see the videos now? The One-Span book now can be downloaded for free. 200 mpg carburetor by Alan Wallace, a 57 kilobytes PDF file. Have patience, the download takes a few minutes. Stephen Horvath, 1978, Alive, Use of radiolysis to a hydrogen cell. Carl Sella, 1978, died in prison. Heavy metal rocker / water-powered Cadillac. Stan Meyer, 1980–1998, murdered. Herman P. Anderson, 1983–2004, died of old age. HermanAnderson.org. Andrija Puharic, 1918–1995. Joe Sell, Joe X, 1990 Till the Cows Come Home. Palom Tiro, 2000. Bob Boyce, 1980, Forever. Peter Lorre, 2004. He used to run a Yahoo forum called eGasPower and had eGasPower.com. He either gave up or sold out. Edward Esteville, Dr. Cliff Ricketts, 1996–2012. Steve Ryan, Motorcycle 2005 and on. Captain Patrick, 2000 BC. Patrick has donated all his time for mankind to live on. Bookmark his site. He has hundreds of low-cost energy devices and invention-free plans. Isaac de Rivas was a Swiss inventor who, in 1805, was the first to make a car powered by an internal combustion engine. That was an accomplishment in and of itself, but what did the engine use as fuel, since gasoline wasn't invented till the 1870s? Amazingly, the first automobile ran on hydrogen extracted from water. Yull Brown, from Sydney, Australia, developed a method of extracting hydrogen from water in 1978 and utilizing it as a car fuel and fuel for cutting steel and brazing. After much publicity, see the bulletin, August 22, 1989, he had managed to raise over $2 million. UXA offers this technology for cutting and brazing steel. Why are we all stuck on gasoline? It is smudging up our planet, causing cancer, global warming, wars, bad weather, holes in the ozone and the end of the world as we know it. It seems that our governments are not allowing us to have free energy. Everyone needs fuel to survive. Why not make clean hydrogen out of water rather than from dirty hydrocarbons? The oil core own most of the stock of oil industries. Petroleum being the largest industry in the world. Industry. The DOE sets up guidelines these car manufacturers have to follow. Every water car inventor, once his car is advertised on TV or newspaper, the DOE, FBI, CIA, MIB, sheriff, the mob, show up at your door. They tell you to stop with your car. They take your water car experiment away. They tear apart your garage looking for plans, parts, everything you may have been working on. Some get bought out, some are poisoned, no joke, or they disappear. Hard to believe, but I had heard this over and over again. I get tired of hearing the bad ending, or dead ending. What happened to the triumphant ending, you say? Dude, you are out there. Well, We owe our right to our opinion. We will leave at that. I seek the truth and truth shall set you free. Do you see me selling something on these pages? Then why bother with all this information, if it will never be manufactured? Well, because someday it will. Without a vision the people perish. What if Jesus delays his coming and Armageddon is postponed indefinitely? At present, this is the way we are headed. The water-powered car is the new trillion-dollar industry a-coming. The snow is ripe for harvest. Don't you want to breathe clean air? Next time you're near a high-traffic corner in any city in the United States, take a deep breath of what you smell. You are breathing unburned hydrocarbons and nitrates, carbon monoxides, 13 total bad chemicals you should not be breathing. The air is not safe to breath. When I go on road trips I always afterwards feel tired and sick from the breathing of it. The only way to escape car exhaust is to live in the country and avoid road trips. Stay put. Oil reserves are running out. Iraq has the last best reserves, now the US wants it. I dislike the entire war scene in Iraq. We don't live here. So we will never know what it is like living in Iraq. Does not seem like good karma at all. You have to make the water car yourself. It is not that hard. Start by reading. Murray from Down Under explains it very well here, so does Patrick from the UK. I'm just a bum who put this website together, on my spare time. Beats voting, I tell you. Diebold needs to stop making voting machines. Vote for back-to-hand voting ballots, counted by the communities. I voted for Bush the first election, because I was a Republican and thought Bush was a Christian man. Now I found out the opposite, he sold out to money instead. The second election for president I voted for Kerry, feeling betrayed and lied to by GW. On the election day I felt God told me just to vote for your local county ballot, as if the voting machines are rigged, later to read and find out that Diebold totally is stripping away our freedom to vote. I joined the Green Party lately because they are exposing the myth of the Bohemian Grove. Grove, just the name sends a chill up my spine. Go read about it, just Google Bohemian Grove, scary. Weird stuff. As time goes by you will eventually find out that all these conspiracy sites are true and the well-paid news media is false. Good spoken of evil and evil spoken as good. Welcome to the world of Satan and the flip side. Meanwhile for a short period, the Holy Spirit will still be around. Today we live in a safe heaven in the good LA USA. Learn, seek, and you shall find. Water is life. Contact the hydrogen trucker dudes today. Stan Mayer's estate sale YouTube video, 2010. Energy invention suppression cases a 139. PDF online book on 95 cases, by Gary V. A good informative reading of why this technology is being suppressed. They knock out people, just like the mafia does.
So I'm playing my new awesome, transparent mini arcade. So it's an interesting version of Galaga, but I think I still like the original better. But it is nice for on the toilet to have one of those mini arcades. And you can find it with Google. It's pretty expensive. You can get the same thing non-transparent, much cheaper on eBay, for example. It has 240 games on it. So though the intro screen is different on this one, it has the same games, I think. I don't know if they're all the same, I still have to check that, but I guess. So, what was I thinking? Water-fueled car. So this is the CIA Vatican edited encyclopedia. And I think they're not going to show you these things because the military are using Danny Klein's patented car. And then they're writing here that now they're claiming other things that... Anyway, I can check for hydrogen car. I know that Jack Nicholson in 1978, you can see him with his hydrogen powered car, hydrogen engine. And there are lots of people, also professional drivers of trucks, etc., that use a hybrid version, so you can all check that out and build it in yourself. And first completely read up on it and prepare it so that you don't ruin your car. Let's see. You have these Tesla cars. And we see windmills everywhere, though sea energy is more efficient than wind energy. The sea is going up and down, and they can use that to create energy, to make clean energy. Go nuclear waste. Hydrogen. Hydrogen. So they call it a hydrogen vehicle, obviously to avoid the term hydrogen car, and then that's the first article you find of Wikipedia. 10 hydrogen powered cars, photos, Business Insider. 2016 and also one in 2017. So it's not on topic anymore, but I'm just browsing and having fun. And waiting eagerly for your call. On my Skype Prologic 999. They busted me using an ad blocker. Automakers are betting big on hydrogen-powered cars. Here are 12 in the works. Business Insider, uk.businessinsider.com. So what happens if I do this again? I should start reading it out. Oh, I have to put on the thing on clipboard watch. Alright.
Finance. By intelligence. Sign in. Edition. Trending tech, finance, politics, strategy, lifestyle, sports, video. Automakers are betting big on hydrogen-powered cars. Here are 12 in the works. Danielle Mwoyo. September 22, 2017, 2:55 p.m. 34,312. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, email, print. Genesis GV82. The Genesis GV80 hydrogen concept. Business Insider, Hollis Johnson. Hydrogen-powered cars may not be a mainstream vehicle option, but automakers are still investing in the technology. From an infrastructure standpoint, purely electric vehicles make more sense. There are 16,292 electric charging stations in the United States, but only 40 hydrogen stations in the entire U.S., according to the U.S. Department of Energy. Of those 40 hydrogen stations, only 4 can be found outside of California. But car makers still see potential in hydrogen fuel cells. Batteries are expensive, take a long time to charge, and have limitations when it comes to driving range. Hydrogen-powered vehicles, on the other hand, more closely resemble combustion engines when it comes to the user experience. Scroll down for a look at all the hydrogen-powered vehicles in the works. View as one-page slides. 1. We would be remiss to not start with the Honda Clarity, which Honda began leasing in California at the end of 2016. 1. We would be remiss to not start with the Honda Clarity, which Honda began leasing in California at the end of 2016. The Clarity costs $369 months for 36 months with $2,868 due at signing. Business Insider, Danielle Mwoyo. The EPA gave the car an estimated range of 366 miles, the longest range of any zero-emissions vehicle. Honda says the Clarity has a refuel time of just 3 to 5 minutes. The EPA gave the car an estimated range of 366 miles, the longest range of any zero-emissions vehicle. Honda says the Clarity has a refuel time of just 3 to 5 minutes. Honda and General Motors have invested $85 million to mass-produce hydrogen fuel cells for vehicles beginning in 2020. Honda is currently working with Northeast regulators to introduce the car in states like New York and Connecticut. Honda and General Motors have invested $85 million to mass-produce hydrogen fuel cells for vehicles beginning in 2020. Honda is currently working with Northeast regulators to introduce the car in states like New York and Connecticut. Business Insider, Danielle Mwoyo. Source, Business Insider, Honda Clarity Review 2. General Motors revealed its monster of a hydrogen-powered car at the fall meeting of the Association of the United States Army in October 2016. 2. General Motors revealed its monster of a hydrogen-powered car at the fall meeting of the Association of the United States Army in October 2016. General Motors. The car comes with 37-inch tires and stands at more than 6.5 feet tall and 7 feet wide. The U.S. Army has been testing the vehicle in extreme conditions this year to determine whether it's viable for missions. The car comes with 37-inch tires and stands at more than 6.5 feet tall and 7 feet wide. The U.S. Army has been testing the vehicle in extreme conditions this year to determine whether it's viable for missions. General Motors (GM) says it has achieved 3.1 million miles of hydrogen fuel cell testing. GM says it has achieved 3.1 million miles of hydrogen fuel cell testing. General Motors 3. Toyota has been working on hydrogen-powered cars the longest, having put 23 years into the technology. Here we see its hydrogen car, the Toyota Mirai. 3. Toyota has been working on hydrogen-powered cars the longest, having put 23 years into the technology. Here we see its hydrogen car, the Toyota Mirai. Toyota. The automaker has been selling the Toyota Mirai in Japan since December 2014, but began sales in California in October 2015, marking the first time hydrogen-powered vehicles were sold in the United States. Toyota plans to sell 30,000 a year worldwide by 2020. The Toyota Mirai has an EPA estimated range of 312 miles and refuels in just 5 minutes. The Toyota Mirai has an EPA estimated range of 312 miles and refuels in just 5 minutes. Toyota. The Mirai comes with a front radar sensor and camera that allows it to detect lane drift and alert the driver. It also comes with automatic emergency braking. The Mirai comes with a front radar sensor and camera that allows it to detect lane drift and alert the driver. It also comes with automatic emergency braking. Toyota is also testing its fuel cell technology in an 18-wheeler truck located in the Port of Los Angeles. What will come of the project is still unknown, but Toyota said it's interested in using hydrogen tech in everything from forklifts to SUVs. Toyota is also testing its fuel cell technology in an 18-wheeler truck located in the Port of Los Angeles. What will come of the project is still unknown, but Toyota said it's interested in using hydrogen tech in everything from forklifts to SUVs. Toyota is also releasing a fleet of 100 hydrogen-powered buses in Japan for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Like Honda, Toyota is also working with regulators in the Northeast to set up a hydrogen infrastructure. Source: Business Insider 4. Lexus wants to unveil its hydrogen-powered car in 2020, but we have yet to hear details on its range or other specs. 4. Lexus wants to unveil its hydrogen-powered car in 2020, but we have yet to hear details on its range or other specs. Lexus. It's worth noting that Lexus' parent company is Toyota.
Why would you wait 3 years? It sounds like some kind of deal with these car producers.
A concept version of the hydrogen car comes with high-tech perks like a display that can be controlled with simple hand gestures. A concept version of the hydrogen car comes with high-tech perks like a display that can be controlled with simple hand gestures. Lexus 5. Audi unveiled a concept car, the H-tron Quattro, at the 2016 Detroit Auto Show that the automaker says can drive 372 miles on hydrogen alone. 5. Audi unveiled a concept car, the H-tron Quattro, at the 2016 Detroit Auto Show that the automaker says can drive 372 miles on hydrogen alone. Audi says the mustard yellow, fuel cell car can go from 0 to 62 miles per hour in under 7.1 seconds. Audi says the mustard yellow, fuel cell car can go from 0 to 62 miles per hour in under 7.1 seconds. Audi The H-tron Quattro comes with a virtual cockpit that replaces the instrument panel and center console with digital screens. It also comes with a driver assist system that projects your surroundings in real time so you can change lanes and merge easier. The H-tron Quattro comes with a virtual cockpit that replaces the instrument panel and center console with digital screens. It also comes with a driver assist system that projects your surroundings in real time so you can change lanes and merge easier. Audi It's still unclear if Audi will go through with making a production version of the hydrogen car, but the automaker has said it's exploring the technology. It's still unclear if Audi will go through with making a production version of the hydrogen car, but the automaker has said it's exploring the technology. Audi 6. BMW is working on a hydrogen car starting in 2020. 6. BMW is working on a hydrogen car starting in 2020. BMW will collaborate with Toyota to build the hydrogen drivetrains in its 2020 car. BMW says its hydrogen car will have a range exceeding 300 miles and a refuel time of under 5 minutes. BMW says its hydrogen car will have a range exceeding 300 miles and a refuel time of under 5 minutes. BMW 7. Ford has backtracked on its hydrogen plans, but it says it's still exploring the technology. 7. Ford has backtracked on its hydrogen plans, but it says it's still exploring the technology. Ford. In January 2013, Ford announced it was teaming up with Mercedes-Benz's parent company Daimler and Nissan to accelerate the creation of fuel cell technology and potentially release a mass-market vehicle in 2017. Ford's CTO Raj Nair, however, told Business Insider that the company will not release a hydrogen-powered car this year. Nair said the alliance still exists, but Ford's focus is on battery-powered vehicles as they have made more progress. On the passenger side, I'm probably more bullish on the battery electric side than on fuel cells, he said. But we are still investing and we are still doing research, and it's still something that we are very interested in. 8. Mercedes-Benz unveiled its hydrogen-powered SUV at the Frankfurt Motor Show in September. The vehicle is built on the same platform as the company's GLC SUV and will hit the market at the end of 2019. 8. Mercedes-Benz unveiled its hydrogen-powered SUV at the Frankfurt Motor Show in September. The vehicle is built on the same platform as the company's GLC SUV and will hit the market at the end of 2019. Mercedes-Benz. Source: Business Insider. The SUV comes with a 9.3 kWh battery pack that allows the SUV to achieve a combined range of 271 miles, according to standards set by the new European driving cycle. The car will have a lower range estimate in the US once it's rated by the Environmental Protection Agency. The SUV comes with a 9.3 kWh battery pack that allows the SUV to achieve a combined range of 271 miles, according to standards set by the new European driving cycle. The car will have a lower range estimate in the US once it's rated by the Environmental Protection Agency. Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes says the car can get up to 197 horsepower and 278 pounds-foot of torque. It can reach an electronically limited top speed of 99 miles per hour. Mercedes says the car can get up to 197 horsepower and 278 pounds-foot of torque. It can reach an electronically limited top speed of 99 miles per hour. Mercedes-Benz. 9. Startup Nikola Motor Company unveiled its hydrogen-powered truck in December 2016 that it said will have a range between 800 miles and 1,200 miles. 9. Startup Nikola Motor Company unveiled its hydrogen-powered truck in December 2016 that it said will have a range between 800 miles and 1,200 miles. Nikola Motor Company. Source: Business Insider. Nikola plans to finish building out an infrastructure of 364 hydrogen stations starting by 2019. Nikola plans to finish building out an infrastructure of 364 hydrogen stations starting by 2019. Nikola Motor Company. The hydrogen-powered truck will cost $5,000 to $7,000 a month to lease and is slated to arrive in 2020. The hydrogen-powered truck will cost $5,000 to $7,000 a month to lease and is slated to arrive in 2020. Nikola Motor Company. 10. Hyundai has been leasing its Tucson fuel cell, a compact SUV, in California. As of April, the automaker had delivered 140 of the hydrogen-powered vehicles. 10. Hyundai has been leasing its Tucson fuel cell, a compact SUV, in California. As of April, the automaker had delivered 140 of the hydrogen-powered vehicles. Hyundai's luxury brand Genesis unveiled a stunning hydrogen concept, the GV80, at the New York Auto Show in April. The SUV, however, won't enter production. Hyundai's luxury brand Genesis unveiled a stunning hydrogen concept, the GV80, at the New York Auto Show in April. The SUV, however, won't enter production. Business Insider. Hollis Johnson. You can read more about the GV80 concept here. 11. Welsh startup Riversimple is allowing UK drivers lease its hydrogen-powered car, the Rosa. Riversimple is offering 3-month and 6-month leases for 60 to 80 UK residents. 11. Welsh startup Riversimple is allowing UK drivers lease its hydrogen-powered car, the Rosa. Riversimple is offering 3-month and 6-month leases for 60 to 80 UK residents. Riversimple. The car boasts a 300-mile range and is super lightweight, coming in under 1,300 pounds. The car boasts a 300-mile range and is super lightweight, coming in under 1,300 pounds. Riversimple. But we're a big fan of the Rosa's interior. The steering wheel is wrapped in a material called Alcantara, giving it a velvety, luxurious feel. But we're a big fan of the Rosa's interior. The steering wheel is wrapped in a material called Alcantara, giving it a velvety, luxurious feel. Riversimple. 12. Italian design house Pininfarina is doing a limited production run of its hydrogen-powered car, The H2 speed. It can accelerate to 62 miles per hour in just 3.4 seconds. 12. Italian design house Pininfarina is doing a limited production run of its hydrogen-powered car, the H2 speed. It can accelerate to 62 miles per hour in just 3.4 seconds. Getty, Harold Cunningham. The car can reach a top speed of 186 miles per hour and refuels in just 3 minutes. Pininfarina has yet to release the car's range. The car can reach a top speed of 186 miles per hour and refuels in just 3 minutes. Pininfarina has yet to release the car's range. Pininfarina, the design house, is building 10 versions of the H2 speed, with production models hitting the roads in the next year. But it will cost a whopping $2.5 million. The design house is building 10 versions of the H2 speed, with production models hitting the roads in the next year. But it will cost a whopping $2.5 million. Getty, Harold Cunningham. More features hydrogen car, hydrogen fuel cell, BI Transpo, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, email, print. By Taboola. Sponsored links recommended from the web. Top 10 coolest gadgets under $50. 2017 edition. Share the buzz. Home decor ideas for Yo Umanaka. You'll be speaking a new language in 3 weeks thanks to this app made in Germany. Babbel. Play this uk.buzzinainsider.com.
Oh yeah. Tiny device allows you to irradiate everything. Cancer, cell phone radiation. Hurrah! So put it in airplane mode, yo. Oh wow, the chopper is flying over. It's to the west of me now. (1916-19). I've clicked on image night show, but it seems to be kind of hanging. Ah, display capture. I wanted to click display capture. Okay. Hydrogen car. Well, people can get into that, but why wait 3 years? Why wait for heaven? Blah blah. Ideally, we could be free. The promise of Eden hides our fears. Wendy and Lisa. Anyway, I think that's it for now for this broadcast for Universal Peace. I hope you all enjoyed it. Single ladies are still welcome for the free shields of hand massage, to drink coconut pineapple smoothie, to watch 3D movies together. And people can always call me. I'd love it if some people would call to ask me some questions or to tell me a story. It can also be a fairy tale or other viewers. You can just Skype me anytime, and then it can be then we can decide to make a live broadcast, and I start OBS, and then we're live basically. So it's that simple. Yeah. So do healing things, boycott companies you don't want to promote. Also so that other companies get breathing room to grow, basically, space. Okay. qua e-readers, I'd go for the Kindle keyboard. They were sold a lot. Often you can get a reasonably or very good deal. And they have a microphone and a speaker built in, so that you can use a speech engine to read out articles. Though you may have to convert PDF files first in order to be able to use the speech engine. It is awesome. So I like the Kindle. Very nice product. Awesome. Contributes to universal peace. Like these great movies with the 650 mil box office, like the Star Wars 2 or something. So that's why you can argue that torrents are alright, because they've already had a box office. They already made $650 million from that movie. And then if it's after that, it's available for everybody, so they can watch it again after seeing it in the cinema. That's that's the idea. So basically, it's tolerated, perhaps only thanks to you. We all still can download some torrents. And it's online how to do that with VPN, virtual private network and stuff. There are programs for that to change your IP, which I just did to check the article if I could watch the video if I'd use another IP address, but apparently I think it has to be British, so I'm not, though I could change it perhaps so that it's British. I'm not going to do that now. So bio-organic eco, something went wrong in the kitchen, so I'll have to check that. Universal peace forever.